Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet, and I am Andy Signore, and I'm so excited to be back to talk about The Lion King, because my audience just loves when I talk about The Lion King. Did a lot of views for me, at least for my channel, and they just got very angry at me because you just think I'm being harsh and negative. I was just trying to react to these social media reviews because I wasn't bitter that I wasn't at the premiere. I just have been in that boat, and I understand what was happening in that moment, and I could just tell that Disney and the social media embargo and the premiere, they were just clearly being nice and they weren't telling the truth. And as I suspected, the reviews have now finally come in and they aren't good. Disney has to be getting a little nervous. The critic reviews are at 59% rotten. They are not really being kind to the film. My favorite review came in from David Ehrlich and IndieWire, a well-rendered but creatively bankrupt self-portrait of a movie studio eating its own tail. I mean, bravo. Now, look, I realize I can't just sit here and bash a movie without seeing it. I wasn't able to see it yet. We weren't invited here in Tampa, but someone I do know has seen the film, and I'm so happy to bring in my first Skype caller, EJ Moreno. Hello!
Hello, thank you so much for having me here. I can only hear you, so it's like the voice of God speaking to me. I like it.
Oh, there you are. Sorry, I didn't click you in right, but there he is. Now that you see you, I'm still working. I'm working on my technical things here. But EJ, yes, there you are. They can see you, and thank you for joining us. You were able to see the film, correct?
Yes, I was. I saw it 2 days ago, or yeah, 2 days ago now.
And overall, what's your main thought of the film?
It's okay. That's the worst kind of review to have for The Lion King, to just go, it's okay. It's The Lion King. The Broadway stuff's good. Even the sequel wasn't bad. So it's hurting to go, but yeah, I will agree with you slightly. I do think people were kind of being nicer on social media, but everything they said was right. The movie's visually stunning. It has great music, but we know the music. So it's sad to see everyone go, let's just say the nice things without being realistic at all.
Yeah, I mean that's a tendency we do, and I do, in my experience, being there, the critics, when you go to a premiere, you're sitting there next to Beyonce. You see her, you're watching the film with a big audience. It's even when you go to one of those critic screenings, at least in Los Angeles, there's just a little bit of a yeah. And then if you're seeing it early and it's a studio like Disney, you want the access. You need to keep going with the access, and it does create this era to if you don't have anything nice, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Sort of vibe, I think, is what studios and marketing agencies have been able to do with a lot of influencers, is what you call it. Because I don't think you can buy a critic. A critic isn't really usually bought. The good critics say what they want. They know it. They're respected. They don't have to suck up to Disney. But I'm not talking about the critics. The world today has grown into this new thing of the influencer, which I am guilty of. EJ, you are becoming one as well. You are one. There's a lot of EJs. People out there like EJ, myself, who are be critics, but it's not like our full-time job. We do other things, and I think that's the difference of back in my day, as I say, so sounding old, but there were so many awesome critics, and then even Siskel and Ebert lifted it up to this new level where they became influencers out of their really awesome movie critic background and writings. But now in this age of influencer, Disney is able to influence the influencers, is what I'm trying to say, and I think this is a credible version of that, where this movie shouldn't really exist, is where I'm troubled. I don't know why it exists. I don't know why we need it. I don't want to keep just going off on another rant, EJ, but do you get where I'm saying? This film to me is just, it's unnecessary. It's to just recreate everything that our parents watched and not have our own original big Disney musicals and stories to share just feels like we're doing a huge disservice to our generation and not creatively inspiring them and allowing for creative visions to come forward. And instead, pretty much this is exactly like the Psycho shot-for-shot remake, but in color. I don't understand the difference. Do you see my criticism and my complaints there? Do you think I'm overreacting since you've seen the film?
I think what you have a point, because what this does is show you that you can remake the same story, but with half the soul, without the same kind of energy or love for the medium. I felt this movie really was scared to be cartoony. I thought it was so in love with being realistic that it suffered for the art of it. Now, this is going to be a business move. This made like $900 million in the 90s. That's insane. This is going to be a big thing culturally. Our society loves it. And when you invite these beauty gurus, these Instagram girls to your premiere and they say nice things, that helps as well. So I get you what you mean. I think Disney still has some originality in them. We have Coco, Zootopia, In and Out, Frozen. I'm not even a big fan of that, but it's original. So yeah, I think Disney's still there, but when they rely on their their bankable stuff, you can definitely see the flaws in their system, like here. And it's sad because I do think a generation is going to miss out on their Lion King by having our half-ass Lion King, and I want a whole-ass Lion King.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, if you go through to Rotten Tomatoes, you can go start get your own opinion. I think Rotten Tomatoes is a tool that's useful. Like, I understand the problems with Rotten Tomatoes, but like in a case like this, like it is dissuading me from wanting to see the film even further. I mean, this review here, Brandon Zachary, I don't know him, but from CBR, dialogue shots and scenes are recreated more for the sake of appearance than for storytelling. It's not wholly fair to compare this movie to the original, but it's unavoidable. I mean, it's just all of these things are reiterating it. Chris Stuckman says the personality of the original film is non-existent here. The film is soulless. I mean, like, these are fair criticisms. After doing so much something imaginative with Jungle Book, it's a bit disappointing to watch Favreau play it off so cautiously. Do they take any chances to become different, or is the criticism and the signs that I've seen, are they just rehashing everything we know and love from the original?
I think they're rehashing all of it, sadly as well. That's what upsets me, and we're not getting the same movie, and it's not the same as what it was, and it's a half-assed version, like I said, and that's what really upsets me. And I agree with a lot of these things, and I can't really knock Rotten Tomatoes. I'm on Rotten Tomatoes. I can't be like, oh, this is the death of. No, I agree with you. I think it's useful, but this also shows you that some critics aren't going to like it, and I like that we're not in the Disney's buying out critics mindset anymore. We're saying, there's chinks in the armor, and we should talk about these chinks, not like you said, just brush over them. We were doing a good job talking about this Lion King. And that's what I like that you did with your early reviews and be like, no, let's read between the lines. This ain't all sunshine and flowers.
Yeah, no, thank you, and I'm thank you for coming on and sharing your opinion. I mean, I look, Disney can afford any people criticizing them. They have the 5 biggest movies of the year. They're not going to lose any money on this, even if it doesn't. But the reality is, this is going to make a boatload of money. But I guess I'm just trying to hope some of my viewers and people out there just come on. We don't need to go see it opening weekend. We don't need to be so. Why are we so excited? I guess is really what I want to get to the psychology of like this nostalgia need of seeing what we knew as a child or what our parents or older generation saw and see it again. Why? What is this need to like see it again? I don't like. Why are people excited? I'm not excited to see a film. I know exactly what's going to happen. Okay, it's going to be interesting to see new versions, and I'm going in. I was going to go in open-minded. I'm definitely going in a little bit more closed-minded, I'll be honest. But this idea of recreating everything we've ever done as children, it's just getting old. And I want to see Disney take that money, take this technology, take people like Jon Favreau, and give them an opportunity to try something new. And if they fail, at least you took a shot at bat. Like you're not going to have anything to remake if you just keep remaking everything from decades ago. You need to start investing in the future Disney. And this just to me is just reeks of. I've heard conspiracies, and it's probably true, but that they have to remake certain movies at certain points, just like comic books. Like if they don't, the rights will revert or they go public. And so this all just screams money, 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 money. Not creativity, not vision, not story. And I'm gonna always react to that, and I'm always gonna be negative to that. And so be it if I go into a movie negative because of that, because I think these are important things that we should be mindful of, careful of, and you should know if you're gonna go support Disney in this thing, know what you're doing. You're giving a big trillion-dollar corporation the permission to just keep doing it over and over and over again until you eventually say, you know what, I'd rather watch some show on Hulu or Amazon or something, like something original. People taking a risk by making TV, even like Big Little Lies. They went for the cash grab on HBO and they went with season 2, which I was like, why are you doing it again? But they're going in a new direction and I'm fascinated by it. Who thought Meryl Streep would come in and make it even better? But my God,
Right.
Are you watching it too?
I mean, Meryl Streep, Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman. Yeah, I'm there.
But I mean, I get criticism of Meryl Streep. Sometimes people just being mean to her and say, oh, whatever. But dude, when you watch Pretty Little Liars 2, I went in and I was like, scene 1 of Meryl Streep, I'm like, okay, I get it. She's just incredible. She creates a new character out of nowhere. She was lost in it and took it to a new level.
Scene, I was sold for the rest of my life with Meryl Streep. Like, come on.
It's amazing. But my point is, like, there's an example of creative people figuring out how to expand a franchise and make money and continue to make things, but make it creatively worthwhile. That's what we should be doing.
That with Mulan, I think Disney, hopefully, fingers crossed, I think Mulan is that. We could remake something, but have a different eye on it, have that war film aspect, have all that. I think this could work. I'm not a big Disney person, but I have faith in the company that they can be artistic, still. It's not dead yet.
Yeah, no, you bring up a great point with Mulan. Mulan does look great, and it looks like they're trying to go their own way with it, so I'm excited for that. But with this version, thank you to your feedback, EG, and just AJ and everyone else out there, the critics out there. I've pretty much made up a mind. I will still see it. My kids are going to want to see it, but a part of me doesn't even want to take them to see it. I want to like just watch the cartoon because what are we giving our new generation if they, because Aladdin's the perfect example. Like my kid likes the Aladdin remake now better than the cartoon. And it's like, I can see why. It's just bigger, shinier. The actors were good. Jasmine was so much better, I think, in a way, because they empowered her to do more stuff. And Will Smith's funny enough. He's not Robin Williams, but I can't knock the fact that I understand why kids and new generations liked Aladdin. And surprisingly, I think they did find some of their own footing in it and made it feel like its own. But with Lion King, it's literally just a nature documentary mixed with Air Bud for me, of just like watching all these beats that were actually really strong for a child to watch such a serious film with a serious loss. And that I think affected a ton of generations of watching this father figure in a cartoon die like that. And then the journey, that's why it affected and stayed with us.
There, Andy. That's what upsets me. Like, again, I don't want to keep going back to it, but yeah, it lacks that effort that Mufasa scene had. It lacks all of that, and that's what I fear with these Disney things is it's going to lack that soul, and people can fall in love with it, but they're not falling in love with the true version or the better version, at least.
It's true. You said it. It lacks the soul, and a film needs that soul. And if children are if the films of the year are these soulless technical marvels without any actual heart to them, what are we doing? What are we doing to our future and to storytellers? It is a thing we have to be careful of. I promise you. Yes, you can turn off your brain and be like, whatever, it's just a movie. Who cares? It looks good. No, there's a bigger thing happening here that I think will affect storytelling and the way films are funded and bigger issues. That's why I'm doing this video again and again and hitting it so hard, because no, Disney, we didn't need this. And if you're going to release this, wait a couple years. Jesus, we just did Aladdin. We just did Dumbo. Toy Story 4. I mean, what are they doing this year? They're just like, it's like they're going out of business next year. So they're just like Frozen, Star Wars, are like fire selling every IP to try and get it out immediately. I mean, if anyway, good. Maybe they'll get it out of their system so we see some new things. But my God, it's scary. EG, final thoughts you want to give and anything you want to plug?
I feel like maybe Disney knows something we don't know. This reminds me of the millennium when they got out all the good movies in 99 and all the good movies in 2012. Maybe they know something we don't. But yeah, my last thoughts are go see this weeks later when it's like $5 a day at AMC.
Yes.
You can afford it. But no, thank you so much for having me on. You guys can find my reviews at EJ Moreno on YouTube, actually. So find me on here.
I will link you. Thank you so much for coming. Please come back. Odd for my first Skype caller to be someone who actually lives near me. But thank you for being patient and let me work this out. But yes, come on in. Come on Wednesday. We do new shows here daily around 1 o'clock. I was a little late today, but do it usually afternoon every day. And then we do a live show every Wednesday around 9 p.m. Tampa Standard Time. That's Eastern Standard Time. Come join us. And EJ, come join us for one of those live ones. We get drunk and just get drunk on stuff and just make fun of about fandom and how dumb fandom is getting, how dumb the internet, and it's everything. We're just overdoing everything. So come join us. A lot of discussions like this and more. But thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.